Hey everybody, DeLong Shot Signatures here. This is episode 211 of my TTM returns. We got back 9 successes over the past couple days, as well as a private signing return. But before I get into those, I do want to say some good news in that tested negative for COVID today. Hopefully can test negative again tomorrow and then get back to work this week. It's going to be a lot of work to get back up to speed, not as far as the mental side, but the physical side, because breath control and energy just hasn't really been there. But, got to start somewhere and build back up to it. We'll get started with 2 returns that came in on Friday. First one is a 4 of 4 success in 232 days from former NHL defenseman Mark Tenorti. Signed the 90-91 score, 90-91 pro set, a 96 Donruss, and a 1998 Pacific as well. Sorry about that, my cat can't make up her mind. The other return from yesterday is a college lacrosse success. This guy signed 2 of 2 in 25 days. This is coming back from men's lacrosse coach for, don't know if it's Towson or Tosin, but Sean Nadalin. He also played in the Major League Lacrosse, Premier League Lacrosse, I think those two are synonymous, and NLL, National League Lacrosse, for several years. And his goal was to become a Division I head coach. He is getting to fulfill that role. I think he has 1 Final Four appearance so far in his coaching tenure. Then we'll get into today's returns. First 2 are football related. First one here is a 4 of 4 success in 56 days from former NFL defensive lineman Pierce Holt. Signed the 90 Fleer, 90 score, 90 pro set, and 92 upper deck. So took just a little under 2 months, although for me it took a little bit longer than that because I had to order a couple of these cards. They were missing from my collection before I could even send to him. But he had a pretty productive NFL career. It was also productive in college. It was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, I think in 1997. The other football return is coming back from a former NFL head coach and CFL head coach. The photos didn't turn out the best as far as signing, and he made note of that. He apologized for how it came out. This is coming back from former Bears head coach Mark Trestman. There's also some water stain. I don't know if that was from some recent rain and snow that we've had or something spilled while he had it. But he did sign here on the front of this photo. I tried making one of those customs like I did for the drag races. I think I'm going to hold off until next year to try doing more designs like that. But he did sign on the back there as well. And then this one of him with, I believe it's the Grey Cup, that it's the Coach of the Year award. I'm not 100% sure. He did his best to sign it, but it did smear around a lot. So like I said, he made note of it and apologized, but not his fault. I don't know what's been going on with these photos, but it seems like nothing wants to really stick. But cool to get that. Next up, we've got some college basketball returns from some coaches. First one here is a 2 of 2 success with a note, but he did sign both photos on the front and the back. This is coming back from Creighton women's basketball coach Jim Flannery. I did make a mistake with this batch of photos. I accidentally ordered the glossy instead of the matte like I usually do. In general, the photos look better, but it does run the risk if they don't let it sit long enough, or if they use the wrong type of marker, those smear horribly. So I'm just going to have to cross my fingers that most of these come back pretty good. And for today, most of them did. He also included this note, which was not signed, but he did, was a nice little addition to it. So cool to get that. The other one is a 2 of 2 success from Nebraska women's basketball head coach Amy Williams. So I lucked out on this one. Her silver Sharpie did stick and does not smear. Sorry about that. My cat keeps interrupting me. But like I was saying, lucked out with the photo. The silver Sharpie didn't smear at all. I didn't prep any of these photos. But a little bit came off the photos signed in black, but not bad enough compared to what it has been. So very, very nice to get those. And then we will end off today's returns and this week with 3 Hall of Famers. So I've been getting back a bunch of college sports head coaches, and I am trying out another sport that coincidentally just had their Division I tournament end today, with Texas being the national champions. Didn't get back that coach, haven't written to him yet, but I'll have to write to him probably after New Year's when everyone comes back from the holidays. But got in 3 Hall of Fame women's volleyball head coaches. So the first one here is a 2 of 2 success in 9 days from former LSU head coach Fran Flory. Now, she didn't win any national titles or any major championships. I think she was an SEC champion a bunch of times. Didn't put up a astounding record, but she really helped build LSU's women's volleyball program, and especially built their beach volleyball program, which not every team or not every school has that sport going on. But she was the first coach for that. Did it without taking on any additional funding. So she's helped grow the game. So really, really awesome to get her, and got her back pretty quick. But she signed both of my photos and then included an unsigned note. That's a printed signature at the bottom there. Then we got, we'll do the current coach. This is a 2 of 2 success in 8 days from current women's volleyball coach, funny enough, for Nebraska, John Cook. Let's see. He has won 4 national championships so far, over 800 wins in his career, with 10 Final Four appearances. So even as an active head coach, they've already inducted him for everything that he's accomplished. Really, really awesome to get back 2 Nebraska head coaches in one day. I don't have that happen too often between the sports. And then the last one is a 2 of 2 success in 8 days from longtime Stanford head coach John Dunning, who signed both of these photos in pen, but he did sign on some lighter spots, so it's pretty easy to see. And he won 5 national titles and went to 12 Final Fours, finished his career with 888 wins to 185 losses. So very, very nice start to this collection. I don't have too many that I've sent out to, especially with the current season wrapping up. I didn't want to try flooding a whole bunch of different addresses with, or a whole bunch of different schools with more requests right at the end of the year. I just picked out a couple that had won some national championships, and then I'll worry about the other coaches, like I said, probably after New Year when they're in their off season, but still actively working on recruiting and spring sports and stuff like that. So we'll see how all this goes. But lastly, we've got the private signing return. I don't remember if I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. I did get a really big private signing return a couple weeks ago. Got back Ric Flair, WWE Hall of Fame legend. And then around the same time, they announced that this guy would be signing. So really, really wanted to jump on it. It was more expensive, which is what kind of stinks about the signature not turning out as good as I would have liked. But regardless, really, really happy to have this in the collection of my favorite WWE wrestler of all time. Got back the dead man, The Undertaker. So I had a really hard time finding a good photo that was of any quality or wasn't so pixelated that it just looked cheap and everything. But I finally found a picture of him walking down at WrestleMania ramp, and it was just clear enough to kind of overlook the fact that it is a little pixelated. But he signed in a great spot, and I'm not sure if you can tell on here, but a lot of the silver streaked quite a bit on it. So it can be hard to see from some angles. But still really, really happy to get it. And they called and said that they had a JSA. Just realized the corner on it is folded. That's great. Never ends. But yeah, they called up and said they had a JSA representative there, so I paid a little bit extra to get it authenticated, which is fine. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a new place to get my 8x10 photos from, because they just aren't turning out that well locally, and for the convenience, it doesn't seem like it's worth it. But yeah, I figured I'd share that with you guys. WWE Hall of Famer, 3 volleyball coaching Hall of Famers, and some other cool returns and all that. But that is it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Best luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.